Welcome to EPG Pathshala. Dear students, today we would be learning about the zonal development plan and the local area plan. If you see the hierarchy of plans, we had earlier learnt about the regional plan, then the master plan, and the next in the hierarchy are the zonal development plans and the local area plans. Today we would be learning about the zonal development plans, about the definitions, about the jurisdiction and acts, about the components, case studies, and also about the local area plans, about the definition, jurisdictions and acts, about the objectives, components, process, and so let us see which level or what is a zonal plan. So now zonal plan as defined by URDPFI, that is the Urban and Regional Development Plan Formulation and Implementation Guidelines, have said that the zonal development plans shall be aggregated at the development plan level. And a zonal development DDA Act of 1957, the Delhi Development Act, says that a zonal development plan means a plan for each zone or a division containing information regarding provision of social infrastructure, parks and open spaces, circulation system, etc. And the zonal development plan indicates the actual as well as the proposed use zones designated in 9 land use categories stated in the master plan, according to which the area in the zone is to be finally developed. Now we come to the Section 8 of the Delhi Development Act of 1957, which provides for preparation of zonal development plans simultaneous with the preparation of the master plan, or as soon as may be, the authority shall proceed with the preparation of zonal development plan or ZDPs for each of the zones into which the Delhi may be divided. A zonal development plan, what does it contain? It contains a site plan, a land use plan with approximate location and extent of land uses, then such as public and semi-public buildings, works, then utilities, roads, housing, recreation, industry, business, markets, schools, hospitals, open spaces, etc. It may also specify standards of population density and various components of development of the zone. The Master Plan of Delhi MPD 2021 further stipulates that the zonal plans shall detail out the policies of the Master Plan 2021. That means it should follow or it should be planned according to the framework of the master plan. Secondly, they should act as a link between the local area plan, which is a third tier of planning, and the master plan, because we know that the zonal development plan is the second tier of planning as per the master plan or MPD 2021. And the third point is that the development schemes and the layout plans indicating various use premises shall conform to the master plan and the zonal plan. Now, what are the components of the zonal development plan as per URDPFI? Now, it has to have an introduction, which is a brief introduction to the city comprising its regional setting, functional character, growth trends, etc. Then the development plan / the master plan context, then the interdependence of zones or other parts of the city. Then it has to have the site background and analysis, which includes land distribution analysis, and then population and density, built up area, character, extent, and transportation. About transportation, it has to have circulation network, traffic flow, terminal facilities. Then about the other physical and social infrastructure, including water supply, sewage disposal, drainage, and then garbage, then disposal, and then land ownership, micro zoning, that is hazard mapping and slope analysis, green cover, that is parks and open spaces, forests, orchards, green belts, etc. Then the site potentials and constraints. Then about security mapping, that is specifying relatively safe and unsafe areas or streets, and then types of housing subsystems, that is low cost housing, affordable housing, etc. Now, continuing with the components, we find that zonal development plan should also, as per URDPFI, should also have a conceptual framework, including the planning parameters, the planning concept, and the hierarchy up till the community level, then the projected requirements, and the urban design framework. The proposals and development strategy is also part of the zonal development plan, which should have a land use plan, proposed circulation system, then proposals for physical infrastructure and community facilities, strategy for new development, redevelopment and improvement, proposal for integrating and developing urban villages, proposals for informal sector, strategy for rehabilitation and or regularization of unauthorized colonies, strategy for maintenance of services, provision for facilitating physically challenged and disabled in urban development, and proposals regarding vending zones, that is transit oriented markets and market streets can be pedestrianized, or only non-motorized vehicles, that is NMVs and buses, be permitted in vending zones. One has to see also that apart from provision or facilities and services, we need to conserve and improve the environment also. And so therefore, conservation and improvement of the land, of the rivers, streams, watersheds, green cover, landscape, then of heritage areas and zones, energy efficient and environmentally sustainable development, proposal for rainwater harvesting and common infrastructure, then integration of proposals regarding air, water, noise, pollution control, then focusing on provision of appropriate street furniture, including lighting, spacing of public booths, and then for providing security for women. And also the zonal development plan has to comply with government policies, that is the state land utilization policy, the state perspective plan and state urbanization policy, state urban housing or affordable policy. It also has to comply with the township and integrated township policy, rainwater harvesting policy, energy policy, disaster management policy, industrial and service sector investment policy, barrier-free environment for physically disabled, information technology policy, tourism policy, and other policies. Continuing with the components, we see that zoning regulations are part of the zonal development plan, which includes definitions of various use zone premises. Then there has to be, or there have been, use restrictions, that is uses permitted, conditionally permitted and prohibited according to the area and the context. Then proposal for mixed land uses, strategy for non-conforming land uses, strategy for hazard zone and regulations, then proposal for meeting women's needs, that is mixed use development with focus on street activities, then transit oriented development / space for street vendors to encourage areas to be active at various times of day and night, and then development regulations. Apart from zoning regulations, we need to also have development regulations, which would include building regulations and building bylaws, urban design of major hubs if required, architectural control if necessary, specific development controls for heritage areas and other special areas and traditional areas as defined by the local authority, if any may be provided. So now we come to the last two components of the zonal development plan, that is about the resource mobilization and implementation, which would include the institutional setup for implementation, the physical infrastructure development cost, including the annual as well as the 5-year costs and the phasing of the costs, and then the resource mobilization for implementation through public, private and other sectors. And the last component is about the implementation framework, about the phasing and prioritization of development, and about development management. Here is a list given of the annexures which need to be provided in a zonal develop or with the zonal development plan. Now we come to the case study of Delhi. So coming to the zonal plans of Delhi. So as I was referring, we have 15 zones of Delhi, and these zones, 8 zones out of 15 are within the city, and then there are urban extensions, 6 zones in urban extension areas, and 1 along the river Yamuna or the floodplains. So that is zone O. Now what is zone O? Zone O is a river Yamuna or the floodplain of the river Yamuna. It has special characteristics, ecological significance, and studies have been conducted time to time in this zone. As such, the ZDP or the Zonal Development Plan of Zone O is conceived to set the strategies for rejuvenation of river Yamuna and eco-friendly development. And as per the MPD 2021, a zonal development plan means a plan for one of the zones or divisions containing of the National Capital Territory of Delhi, containing detailed information regarding provisions of social infrastructure, parks, open spaces and circulation system, etc. And as I said earlier, I am repeating, the zonal plan details out the policies of the master plan. Now we come to the local area plans, which is the third tier of planning as mentioned in the master plan for Delhi 2021. Now Balcatta, a suburb of Perth in Western Australia, initiated the local area planning project in early 2006, followed by Australia and UK. In India, according to the master plan of Delhi 2021, the local area plan is stated to be a legal document as per the master plan and the zonal plan. According to the Municipal Corporation Act of Delhi, the local area plan and the layout plans are to be prepared and executed by the local body, that is the the 3 municipal corporations of Delhi. What is the definition of local area plan? It is by definition a plan based on the local needs and characteristics. Thus it requires framing area specific objectives. It is a tool for assessment of public satisfaction and participation in the planning process and addresses ground realities. Now how did this local area plan evolve? In 2007, the term local area plans was included in the MPD 2021, stating it as a plan for the wards or the subzones to be prepared and approved by the concerned local body. And zonal plans also stated in their preamble that indication of uses other than residential and facility corridor shall be undertaken at the stage of local area plans or LAP. As per URDPFI guidelines, local area plan are basically ward level plans. So local means ward in Indian context. So local area plan shall be aggregated at the zonal development plan or ZDP co-terminus with the administrative divisions and boundaries. And the local area plan shall have the planning area size in the scale of 1:5,000 to 1:1,000 as per the requirement of the project, as I have discussed when I was discussing the regional plan. As per URDPFI guidelines, the thrust of micro planning should shift to local area plans, which could encourage decentralization and improve implementation of the development plans. In view of the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, the planning, decision and implementation of plans should be disaggregated in order to bring the process closer to the local people. In fact, the purpose of local area plan is participatory planning or a bottoms-up approach. So therefore, in order to have a top down as well as a master, that is the master plan approach, and also a bottoms up approach, that is a participatory approach, the local area plan is a very effective tool and is the third tier of planning which have been envisaged in the MPD 2021. And the need of this plan stemmed from or came from the need to guide the development or redevelopment of the land or of the ward, of part of areas in the ward, then conservation of heritage buildings and physical features in the ward, then provide improvements in the physical layout of the ward, making infrastructure and amenities available in the ward, managing the area to enhance health and safety of the residents, again of the same, the area is the ward. So local area plan is actually ward level planning. So within the ward, all these have to be done within the ward. So to support economic development, then to enhance the quality of living environment, and for area specific regulatory parameters for the area covered. Now what are the approaches of local area planning? It has a part, as I said earlier, it is basically a including a participatory approach, the collaborative approach between various stakeholders within the wards. And who are these stakeholders? These stakeholders are the residents of that area, the shopkeepers or the commercial establishments, the people working in these commercial establishments, then the environmentalists, then the various officers or the urban local body. They are all stakeholders in the ward level. So therefore a collaborative approach between the various stakeholders are necessary. Then the approach is also of bottoms up approach, because where the people or the residents or the local residents are their needs, requirements are being considered for this local area planning, or should be considered for local area planning. And then the local resource centered approach. So these are all part of local area planning, and this all can be made possible at this level, that is at the local area level, that is at the ward level. So the main objective of the local area plans was to incorporate and effectively capture the needs and aspirations of the stakeholders so as to formulate a plan that is people-centric and involve a process that is participatory in nature. Local area planning, which is an approach to achieve inclusive cities, which actually contribute to growth by incorporating all sections of society, including the poor, the elderly, the children, the differently abled people, and the female or the gender. And then in city development, it reduces inequality, social tensions, and thus socially just also. Now what are the components of this plan, of the local area plan? A local area plan firstly gives information or provides information on or about the ward, about the land use, about the use premise, about the roads, about the streets, about the buildings, different residential typologies, about the commercial uses, about recreational uses, etc. It also gives, or it also should give, an area requirement, that is under these heads as mentioned. Then about these various projects, if any project has to be undergone in the ward, then our consultation with stakeholders, so that also should be a part of the local area plan, and with their needs and requirements the projects are finalized. Then preparation of the plan, as I said earlier, preparation of the plan based upon the selected option, and which is selected based on a participatory approach. Then about planning, details of infrastructure, water supply, which includes water supply, sewage disposal, drainage, electricity and road network. Then also about implementation, then that includes phasing, identification of projects or schemes, and who would be the implementing agencies, including private and public agencies. Then about mobilization of land and about the money which is involved. So all these are part of the local area plan. Now the sectors of the local area plan, if we come down, we see that local area plans generally should specify the implementation details to comply with the government policies. That is about housing, about high-tech townships, about rainwater harvesting, about energy, about disaster management, about industrial and service sector investments, about barrier-free environment for the elderly and the physically disabled. That is about universal accessibility. Then e-governance, tourism and other policies, and facilitate in formulation of specific projects. Then provision of spaces for informal sectors. Then the plan consists or should consist of a map and a written statement that sets out the objectives of the local authority for the specified area. Coming to the process of the local area plan, there is a preparatory stage which includes generation of information in terms of maps, which can be sourced from the Survey of India maps, then approved layout plans by the urban local bodies, then the Google Earth image maps and the field surveys. Also sometimes from Bhuvan website one takes the information or sources information from, and from this the base map is generated or ward level maps are generated. It can be based on GIS, so GIS based information should be there as part of the local area plan process. The first step of the local area plan is to prepare base maps at the ward level. Right now we do not have detailed information or GIS based information or at the ward level. So how to prepare these maps? First of all, we have to source information from the Survey of India maps. Then one needs to see that whether there is any approved layout plans of colonies, of industrial areas from urban local bodies or by urban local bodies. Then the Google Earth images, field surveys, and also the website of Bhuvan, our national website. So based on all this, the first stage should be done, that is generating maps. On the maps, then one starts with the surveys need to be done in order to do the land use analysis and identify the issues which needs to be addressed in the local area plan. And also one needs to check, because the local area plan has to be within the framework of the overall framework of the master plan and the zonal development plans. One needs to check that whether the master plan has been implemented or the zonal development plan has been implemented. If not, then the local area plan needs to, through its participatory processes, provide the changes or the revision which needs to be done at the master plan level or at the zonal development plan level through, as I said, through participatory processes. That means through public consultations from all the local area stakeholders, and that's how the final local area plan should be prepared. That is taking the people's concerns considering the people's concerns as well as considering the framework of the master plan and the zonal development plan. Coming down to the issues and challenges of this local area plan. Now, local area planning only entails a planning framework at the ward level from which projects can be identified. It also has to be appreciated that there's another tier of planning below the local area plan, that is the layout plan. And the issues pertaining to the plot level need to be addressed at the layout plan level. And the challenges of the local area plan pertains to the generation of an information base that needs to be disseminated to people in a people-friendly format, that is through maps depicting the status of the area in terms of its characteristics and issues. And therefore, as I said earlier, the base map or GIS based maps are absolutely essential in order to plan or order to generate a local area plan. So dear students, today we have learnt about the second tier of planning after the master plan, that is the zonal development plans, about the definition, about the objectives, about the act, about the jurisdictions, and about the components, the case studies. We have also learnt about the third tier of planning, that is the local area plans, about the definition, about the objectives, components, the process, and the case studies. Tiers of planning are important because cities are growing, and at various levels one has to plan, and one has to, if one has to incorporate the participatory approach, then one has to go down to the local area plan level, that is the ward level, and one has to plan for the city, because the city is not homogeneous and various wards are different, and there are different stakeholders in different wards, and all, if we have to incorporate, in fact we need to incorporate the needs and requirements of the various local area stakeholders, and therefore local area plans are important to be formulated, and therefore they become very important in our whole planning process. Thank you.